What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Things look a little different here. I'm not going to go into super detail, but I moved. I no longer am in the setup I was. Looks a little different. I kind of like it a little bit more. I didn't like having my bed right behind me. But anyways, today we are going to be filling out my March Madness bracket. This is going to be the one. I'm speaking it. It's going to happen. I believe wholeheartedly we are going to make it the furthest. I'm not saying I'm going to get it right because that's basically impossible, but we're going to be one of the last ones standing, all right? We're gonna do this, and I'm gonna use my brain and maybe some luck involved, you know? But we're just gonna dive right into it. So if you do going to enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. I do stream right here every Wednesday and Friday, so be sure to swing by for that. It's a lot of fun. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. Okay, here we are. We got all 64 teams. We're gonna start out in the West because it's right here, so let's just get it. We've got Gonzaga versus Georgia State, and I can't vote against Gonzaga. But I will say, I do think it'll be a close game. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think Georgia State is going to give Gonzaga a hard time, but Gonzaga will come out on top. Next up, we have got Boise State versus Memphis, and I've got Memphis. I just believe they are going to be Boise State. I almost said they're going to be Memphis. That wouldn't make much sense, would it? Next up, we've got Uconn versus New Mexico State, and as I look through things, you know, I look here, and New Mexico State has not faced a top 25 team yet. I think this is going to be a real challenge for them, and I think they are going to beat Uconn. I got New Mexico State winning. Next, we have Arkansas and Vermont. This one, I think Arkansas takes this one pretty easily. And next up, we have got Alabama versus Rutgers or Notre Dame. This is what I hate. I think this game happens tomorrow at the time I'm recording, but I need to record this video now, so I'm just going to have to kind of choose two completely different teams. So it's kind of hard to vote, but I think I'm just going to trust my gut, and we're going to go with Alabama to win it. Next, we've got Texas Tech and Montana State. Montana State does have the better record, but obviously they're not facing as tough as teams. But I'm going to go ahead and keep it with Texas Tech. And next up, we have got Michigan State versus Davidson. And I've taken Davidson, partly because Steph Curry is my favorite basketball player, and that's where he went to college. But Davidson just lost to Richmond for the conference championship. So Davidson's going to be fueled, they're going to be ready, and they're going to beat Michigan State, I'm telling you. Next up, we've got Duke versus Csu Fullerton, Duke Blue Devils. I'm going to tell you right now, I probably got these fellas winning all the way. Coach K is going out with a bang, I'm telling you right now. Next up, we've got Baylor versus Norfolk State. That Baylor team is still very, very scary. They did lose Davion Mitchell, but they're still scary. I got Baylor winning that pretty easily. Next up, we've got North Carolina versus Marquette, and this one I've been a little stuck on. Let's look at what we got going here. Marquette is 19-12. UNC is 24-9. Marquette does better against the top 25. There's no doubt about that. But UNC recently beat Duke, and you know they're feeling good about that. I think UNC wins this game. I think it's gonna be a good one though. And next up, we've got St. Mary's versus Indiana, and this might be a hot take, but I got Indiana winning this. And there's a very good reason. Indiana is in a very tough conference. If you look here, they are 3-7 versus the top 25. They have 10 games versus the top 25 teams. And St. Mary's only has 3. And I've watched Indiana play, and I can't remember that dude's name, but they've got a beast of a big dude down low. And I think Indiana wins this game. I think Indiana is going to be one of the main shockers of this tournament. Next up, we have UCLA versus Akron. I'm going UCLA. Honestly, I predicted UCLA to have a little bit better of a season than they did. I mean, 25-7 is still impressive. But to see how they did last year, I thought they would do a little bit better this year. But I think they're going to come alive during this tournament. I think UCLA is one of the best teams here. Next up, we got Texas versus Virginia Tech. I'm going Texas on this one. Not a whole lot of reasoning behind it, but I've got Texas. Next, we've got Purdue and Yale. I think this is a pretty easy one. I think Purdue wins this one. And next, we have got Murray State versus San Francisco. I don't know much about San Francisco, but I do like Murray State, so we're going to pick them. Next up, we've got Kentucky versus St. Peter's. You know, not a lot going on here for St. Peter's. I think Kentucky wins this one. Let's go back up to the top. Next up, we've got Arizona versus, I assume that's Wright State versus, I'm not sure who that is. We're going to go Arizona. Arizona's looking scary this year, and, you know, 1 versus 16, the 1 usually wins. Next up, we've got Seton Hall versus TCU. I'm taking Seton Hall in that one as well. Now this is where things get interesting for me. My favorite college basketball team is Marshall, and, you know, we obviously didn't make it. That's okay. We had a pretty disappointing year, but UAB is in our conference, so I know what UAB is capable of, and they have been a very tough team. However, Houston is a very good basketball team, and this one has been really hard for me to choose because I really can see it going either way. I think it will be a good game, and as bad as I want UAV to win it, I think I'm going to have to vote against them and say Houston wins it. I think they're going to come up clutch, but I do think that's a close game. Next up, we've got Illinois versus Chattanooga. Was it last year that Illinois was the 1 seed and they lost? Am I tripping, or wasn't that last year? I think this year they do better. They learn from their mistakes and they beat Chattanooga. Next up, we have got Colorado State versus Michigan. And when you look at this, you know, they got a pretty solid record. Michigan's but they've obviously played way tougher teams. But I've still got Colorado State winning this one. Next up, we have Tennessee versus Longwood. I recently just moved to Knoxville, as I was talking earlier today. So, you know, I got to rep them. I got to start repping these fellas. Let's go for Tennessee. Then we have Ohio State versus Loyola Chicago. I'm looking for Loyola Chicago to do what they did a few years ago. Maybe not go as far, but they're beating the Buckeyes, I'm telling you that. And then to conclude the South, we've got Villanova versus Delaware. I think Villanova easily wins this one. Now for the Midwest, we've got Kansas versus Texas Southern. That might be. If I had to guess, I don't know. They are 1-2 against the top 25, but Kansas is such a scary team. I think you have to vote Kansas in this one. San Diego State versus Creighton. Creighton has the more experience with the top 25, but San Diego State does have a very good record. I don't know, this is a tough one. I'm honestly gonna have to go with Creighton. I got them winning that one. Then we have Iowa and Richmond. I think this is another tough game, but let's go with Iowa. We're gonna go with Iowa. Then we've got Providence versus South Dakota State. I'm going South Dakota State. Then we've got LSU and Iowa State. I'm trusting my gut on this one. I've got Iowa State winning this one. Wisconsin versus Colgate. I got Wisconsin. USC versus Miami. I'm going to say USC takes that one. Then we've got Auburn and Jacksonville State. I assume that's what Jayville is. I'm going to go Auburn. All right, I'm liking the way this looks so far. Let's go back up to the West. We have got Gonzaga versus Memphis. Now this, I do not think this is a very close game. I'd say I'm thinking Gonzaga wins by about 15. I'm picking Gonzaga. Then we've got New Mexico State versus Arkansas. And I believe that New Mexico State continues to throw a fit, but I'm going to say they fall a little bit short and Arkansas wins. Then we have Alabama and Texas Tech. And I got Alabama pulling off the upset here. Then we've got Davidson and Duke. I respect you, Davidson, but you ain't beating the Duke Blue Devils. They are going on forward. Then we got Baylor and UNC. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I got Baylor going pretty far. I mean, unless something unexpected happens, we're going to keep rocking with Baylor. Then we've got Indiana and UCLA. And I've talked good about both of these teams a little bit earlier. And I think this is going to be a really good game, but I'm not sure you can beat UCLA, but not Indiana. Then we have got Texas and Purdue. I don't know. This is a tough choice, but I'm going to have to pick Purdue. Then we've got Murray State and Kentucky. I don't think Murray State will have an answer for Sheboygan, so I think Kentucky wins this one. And while we're here, we'll just do the Midwest instead of jumping back up to the South. We have got USC versus Auburn. I think Auburn wins that. Iowa State versus Wisconsin. Let's go Wisconsin. Let's go Wisconsin. Then we've got Iowa or South Dakota State. I have them beating Providence, but I don't think they'll beat Iowa. And then I think this has the potential to be a really good game, but I'm still picking Kansas. We are almost done with the round of 32. I think Arizona, I have all the number 1 seeds winning, right? Yeah. I mean, it's so hard to go against the number 1s. It seems like usually at least one falls, but this year, I'm not seeing that happen. I don't think so. Now we've got Houston versus Illinois. I think this will be a good one, but I've got Houston coming out on top. I really think Houston is one of the sleeper teams in this bracket. Then we've got Colorado State versus Tennessee. I'm going to keep repping Tennessee. Let's pick them. Then Loyola Chicago versus Villanova. This is tough, but I'm going to have to go Nova. I'm going Nova. So now we are in the Sweet 16. Let's just nail these 4 we got going on right here. I got to pick Zaga. Got to pick Duke. Tennessee with the upset over Nova. And then this one, I think Arizona finally beats Houston. Okay, Baylor versus UCLA. And things get juicy here. I've got UCLA winning this one. Baylor does not have Davion Mitchell anymore. I think UCLA wins this because he was one of the greatest defensive players in college. I think UCLA wins this one. Then we've got Purdue and Kentucky. Again, it's really hard to stop Sheboygan. I'm gonna have to pick Kentucky again. Wisconsin and Auburn. I'm gonna go ahead and say after whoever wins this match, I think they're out after this game. But as far as this one goes, it's kind of hard to choose. But I think we're gonna go with Auburn, and then I'm gonna pick Kansas. But I think Kansas beats Auburn, and this is tough. This is a tough one. I think this has the potential, if it obviously gets to this point. If this happened, this could be one of the best games of the tournament. And I'm saying UCLA wins it. We got 2 more games, and then we are in the Final Four, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Gonzaga versus Duke. Man, that'll be such a good game if it happens. I'm gonna go Duke. I think the 2-1 seeds lose this. We got Duke and Tennessee. Oh man. So we got Duke versus UCLA now. We are in the Final Four. Kansas versus Tennessee. I think Tennessee's magical run ends. Kansas goes to the championship. This is hard. This is really hard. I don't know. Because I want to say Duke. You know, Coach K's magical run. I want to say that. But UCLA, I just don't know. Let's go Duke. We're picking Duke. Duke versus Kansas in the national championship, April 4th. Duke wins. Final score is 82-81. Duke hits the game winner. Calling it right now. Enter me in the sweepstakes, whatever we got to do. This will be the bracket that wins it all. I truly believe it. In all reality, I am super excited for March Madness to stop. It is one of my favorite times of the year, especially for basketball. So many of the games are so close and so many unexpected things happen. I think my bracket has a pretty good balance of that, you know, a little bit of both. Some of the stronger teams, yes, dominating, but we definitely got some upsets picked in here. It's going to be really exciting to see how all these things play out, and it would be absolutely insane to see this bracket go like even semi-far. A couple years ago, I had one go really far. It'd be cool to see it happen again. But thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, as always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Just another reminder that I do stream right here every Wednesday and Friday. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.